Hey everybody, welcome to the show. How are you guys all doing? So, all right, I got some cool stuff. I'm going to drop some bombs on you guys on something I learned today. We finished our webinar and we did well, and then we did this thing and we more than doubled our sales during the doing of this thing, which is insane because the webinar crushed it without that thing. We ended up closing over 20% on the webinar, which is my new record on a webinar. I've closed more than that, like in a live room, at 20% live on a webinar, which was nuts. And it was simple. It was like the dumbest thing in the world. All right, guys. Well, people are coming on. I say we get down to business. You guys ready for this? But if you've been on the show before, you know I can't just drop bombs without it, right? We got to start with a little something, a little tradition. So let me flip this around. We've got our intro, and then we can get started. Give me 1 second here. So now that we are hanging out, we just passed 150 people. Now we can get to work. All right, guys, thank you for sharing. Thank you for caring. So what I want to share with you guys today is I want to share with you guys something we just did. So we just did a webinar. We had a lot of people on. And so you guys know I'm kind of obsessed with webinars. We did over $10 million last year with webinars. And if you guys want, who here wants a webinar script for free? Okay, if you want it for free, give me a double tap because this webinar script has been tested repetitively for over 10 years. If you go to perfectwebinarsecrets.com. It's $5. I mail it out to you, but you also get digital access instantly. Perfectwebinarsecrets.com. So you should go there. It's definitely worth it. We did over $10 million with the script last year. I've got, I don't know, at least 30, 40, 50 students who have done anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million with it over the last year. It works. Just use it. Just copy it. Just model it. So that's number one, is use the Perfect Webinar script. Like, it's the greatest gift I could ever give to you guys. It's free at perfectwebinarsecrets.com. So you say, Russell, why would you give it to me for free? This is the reason why. Because you're going to do it. You're going to do a webinar. You're going to make like 100 grand, and then you're going to join my inner circle, and I get paid there. So that's the goal. I just want you guys to make money with it. So yes, that's step number one. So perfectwebinarsecrets.com. Get it because it's $4.95. I ship it out to you, and then you get a digital access for free instantly. So that's number one. Number two, I'm always testing things, the process, how to get people to sign up, to get them to show up, how to do things. And today's webinar, we did it. And a webinar is typically about 90 minutes long. And then what I've been doing for the last year, it's kind of funny. So I've been doing this for 10 years, right? Actually more than that now, but about 10 years, right? And so I do my webinar, and I would do the webinar, and then at the I would like share the price, do the stack, do the close. I would close it, and as soon as the webinar was over, as soon as I was done, I'm like, hey, everyone, go bye. All right, see you guys. And I would like end the webinar, or I'd just like sit there quietly and it would sit there, right? That was how we did most webinars. And a little while ago, I was doing a webinar. I can't remember. One of our affiliates was on the webinar, and when the webinar was done, they're like, "Hey, can we open up to questions?" I was like, "I don't want to open up to questions. Like, I'm afraid that'll kill the momentum or whatever." So, but they really wanted to, so we opened it for questions at the end. We spent 30 minutes doing Q&A, and what was interesting is I watched the sales happening. Actually, excuse me. Let me back up. So that's not completely true. The first time we did it, we opened it for Q&A for about 10 minutes. So we had 10 minutes. No, wait. Sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. We had a 10-minute countdown clock, right? So the webinar ended, and I started a 10-minute countdown clock. We started doing Q&A. And so we're doing Q&A, and I'm watching the sales come in, like ding, ding, ding. Just sales are coming in, sales are coming in, sales are coming in. And then at 10 minutes, the clock got from 10 minutes got to 0, and guess what happened? Sales just stopped. And we kept doing Q&A, but no more sales came through and just stopped. And I was like, that's weird. So I was like, well, I don't want them to stop. I want to extend it. So we turned our countdown clock from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. So if you've ever been on my webinar, you've seen like when I get to my last slide, there's a countdown clock and counts from 30 down to 0, right? And so we do Q&A during that 30-minute time. And what was interesting is that the whole time doing Q&A, sales are coming in, sales are coming in, sales are coming in. And they just keep coming in, they keep coming in, they keep coming in. I was like, dang. And then I started thinking about like how many, I don't know, 8 or 9 years where I had been doing webinars where as soon as I showed the last slide, I just ended. And I would say on average, we more than double our sales just during me doing Q&A. And every question, I would do the question and I go back to the call to action. Do the question, call to action. Do the question, call to action. Oh, check it out. Tony Ritchie said, I did my first webinar modeling Russell and I did 15 grand in 2 hours. Boom. If you guys like that, give him a double tap. Show him some heart. Show him some love that he's doing. Taking action. All right. So that was the cool thing, right? So for last year, I've been doing tons of webinars, and I always do 30 minutes at the end of Q&A, and I get sales the entire time, right? So today I did a webinar with Brandon said I did my first one, 12 grand in an hour with the script. So let's give Brandon some double taps. Boom. If you guys don't have the script yet, go to perfectwebinarsecrets.com and get it. It's $5 and I ship it to you. So you're crazy if you don't. All right. So today's webinar, I go through and I finish the webinar, and with sales were really, really strong, right? And I was about to go into Q&A, and then Jason Fladlin, who's doing the webinar with me, he gets on, he starts talking, right? And what was interesting that he did, so this is the big aha, right? While I was doing the webinar, he was taking notes on all of the objections in his head that he could think of that he would have if he was listening on the webinar, right? Which is smart. Jason's brilliant. So he's taking notes on this whole thing, right? So I get in, and typically I do Q&A for 30 minutes, but he jumps in and is like, hey, before we do Q&A, I just have some things I want to talk about. And he's like, you know, I'm sitting here listening to this webinar, and I'm thinking, you guys are probably thinking this, right? Have you ever heard Jason, he says all the time, like, you're probably thinking this, right? And he brings up this concern, and then he resolves the concern. And he's like, and then you're probably thinking this, right? And then he resolved the concern. And you're probably thinking this, right? And then he resolves the concern. And he did that, okay? And he did it for the entire 30 minutes of my countdown clock. And then what happened is the PowerPoint slides crashed, right? And I'm like, oh crap. So I like reopened them up really quick. And I went back to the last slide. I opened back up, and the countdown clock's going again. But it started over because the countdown clock, you know, like, I started to slide over, started back over at 30 minutes. So I'm like, oh, but he kept talking, like he didn't stop. So I started back over, and so the clock started at 30 minutes again, and it started counting down, and went for another 30 minutes. Okay, so we went for an entire hour. We never even got to Q&As, where all Jason did was, you know, you're probably thinking this, right? And then he resolved the concern. And you're probably thinking this, right? And then he resolved the concern. And he's had a list of them. I don't know how many he had, 100 of them, right? And he kept doing that for an hour. We spent another hour on the webinar, okay? And when the webinar closed, we were at 9% conversion rate when we started Q&A. And then by the time it was done, we had passed 20%. So we had more than doubled our conversions in the next hour with just him saying, you're probably thinking this, right? And then answering, you're probably thinking this, right? And they answer it. And they kept saying that. Is that crazy? I didn't get to Q&As. So we did 2 hours of it. So I'm not sure how I'm going to take this. If I'm going to do an hour-long countdown clock. I don't think I'll do an hour-long countdown clock, but sales kept coming in the entire time. It was awesome. So there's the lesson for you. Yeah. So I was selling ClickFunnels, funnel hacking. So yeah, that's what I was selling. But anyway, there it is, you guys. So a couple things I would take away for you guys for this. First off is make sure that when you're done with your webinar, you spend at least an hour doing Q&As after, right? That'll be a huge increase right there, okay? And every time you do a question, then then answer. Second thing is, if you go longer than 30 minutes, like an hour like we just did, that's okay. And third thing is not just Q&A, also focus on, you're probably thinking this, right? All the concerns you can think of they're probably having in their head. And just go through the concerns over and over and over and over again. Tell the concern and respond to it. Tell the concern, respond to it. Speak to it. One of my mentors, oh man, I'm going to blank out on his name right now. I wonder if I can find his book right now. Joe Sugarman. Yes, Joe Sugarman wrote a book called Triggers. And when one of the triggers he told this story about, he was trying to sell this thing, and it was like this big heating or air cleaning element, had this weird fuzzy thing on the top. And he's like, it was the ugliest thing in the world. And we were trying to like, you know, the ad, like not talk about that. But then every time we didn't talk about it, people would get it and they're like, oh, and they refund it because this big ugly fuzzy thing. So he's like, I'm going to make that the thing. And I think the headline was like, the weird cleaning air thing that's got the magic fuzzy ball on top, and made the weird thing like the whole point of it. And then sales went through the roof, and nobody refunded because they got this thing, right? And for us, a lot of times we're trying to like hide, like, oh, what if they're concerned about this or whatever the thing that they're concerned about, right? And we just got to take that around and say, no, like, let's bring those things up. Let's make, because they're having that concern in their head anyway. It's keeping them from buying. So instead of trying to hide it and like put it under the rug, let's make a list of all those concerns we can think of, and then let's just bring them up, right? Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. Price point for mine is $1,000. Yeah. So if you guys like that, give me a double tap as fast as you can. I want to see some of you guys trying that out on your next webinars. I want you guys to return and report. Let me know what happens. Let me know how your conversion rates go. But I would say keep on your webinar until sales stop coming in. Just keep going and going and going and going, and don't stop till the sales stop. Because I was like, after that 30 minutes, I'm like, oh, we're on 30 minutes, we need to shut down. But we still had like 280 people on 30 minutes after it was done. We were on 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and he kept going. We ended up going, did we go 3 hours, 3.5? I know, we went for a long time. So it was awesome. Anyway, hope that helps you guys. And hope you guys crush it on your next webinar. That's what I got for you guys today. Appreciate you all. Have an amazing day. And yeah, tomorrow I am filming on location. Who wants to see? Yeah, who wants to see? I'm making a new sales video for ClickFunnels. Who wants to see on location tomorrow when I do it? If you guys want to see it on location, give me double tap. We got rented out rooms, got like green screens and white screens and sound things, and we got actors coming in. It's gonna be awesome. Give a shout out to Donovan Gonzalez. Donovan, here's a shout out. If you guys want to see that, we're gonna be there tomorrow. So I'm filming tomorrow morning my time. So as long as I get internet access where we're at in this warehouse, I will do a Periscope from there and show you guys behind the scenes of what's happening. So if you're in Australia, you got to go wake up early or go to bed late, and everyone else is looking for that. So it'll be probably somewhere, anyway, between 10 and 12 Eastern time, somewhere in there. So it'll be kind of fun. Anyway, so tune in tomorrow. We will be doing something fun like that. And if you missed this or any of our Marketing Quickie shows, you want to see all of the back archives, go to marketingquickieshow.com. And you can see what we've been up to in the past in case this is your first time tuning in. So thanks so much again. Appreciate you guys. If you had fun today, give me a double tap. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. See you guys. Bye.